The champagne fizzed like a taunt, its bubbles catching the city lights as Hannah slid the bill across the table. $12,000, my name scrawled at the bottom in blue ink, a cruel punchline to her performance. Her lipstick gleamed, flawless, as she leaned close, her whisper slicing through the revelry, "You're boring. I want a divorce." Her laughter followed, sharp and rehearsed, her hair tossed back as if she'd practiced the moment in a mirror. "My boyfriend is driving me home," she added, her voice dripping with disdain. Her father, unblinking, sipped his scotch and muttered, "You were just a sponsor. Always have been." In an instant, I became invisible, the man who bankrolled their view from the rooftop, their Wagyu sliders, their laughter echoing against glass and sky. I walked out without a word, her mockery clawing at my back like a cold wind. In the silence of my car, her words replayed, each syllable a fresh wound. An hour later, my phone buzzed with their panicked calls, but my mind was already unraveling the past, how it all began at a gallery opening, where Hannah's gaze first caught mine. I met Hannah amid the soft glow of art and ambition, her presence a blade of charisma cutting through the crowd. She was all edges and allure, her smile promising secrets I couldn't yet read. I should have seen the warning in her eyes, but love blinds you to the fall. 2 years later, we married. I brought stability, forged from sleepless nights and a tech consultancy built in a cramped studio apartment. She brought chaos, a whirlwind of connections from her gilded family, people who wore power like a signature scent. Her father called me the safe bet, his tone a blade wrapped in velvet, half compliment, half jest. At first, it felt like balance. I poured myself into her world, blind to the fissures forming beneath us. At dinner, she deflected my questions with a flick of her wrist, her phone face down, its screen a silent barrier. Her smiles, once radiant, now faltered, never touching her eyes. At her family's table, their laughter swirled around private jests, leaving me adrift, a stranger in my own marriage. I told myself it was stress, a fleeting phase. We all wear masks in public, don't we? But her 34th birthday shattered the illusion, a rooftop bar I didn't choose, filled with strangers I didn't know, the tab bearing my name like a brand of shame. 3 weeks before the party, I found the burner phone in the glove compartment of her Tesla, its screen glowing with betrayal. "He's so clueless. It's almost fun." The words seared into me, but I didn't confront her. I watched, silent as a predator. She stayed out later, her wardrobe blooming with lingerie I'd never seen. Gym appointments vanished from our shared calendar. The boyfriend, I learned his name, his job, his license plate, his ex-girlfriend's name, the debt collectors haunting his office line. He was a reckless shadow, his car a mess of expired tags and unpaid fines. More than anything, I learned how disposable I was in their glittering theater. So I stopped being their audience and became the playwright. Silence was my weapon, sharp and unseen. I met with my lawyer, laying bare every wound, transferring personal accounts, freezing joint ones, liquidating stocks before Hannah's careless eyes could notice. She'd never read a financial statement in her life. The prenup, her supposed fortress, crumbled under Clause 4, Paragraph 3, adultery, clear as day. I placed a tracker in her car, not to follow her steps, but to mark her betrayal with timestamps. I made allies, a waiter from the bar, his student loans paid for a signed statement about her hand lingering on the boyfriend's thigh. A private investigator shadowed them for 8 days, collecting hotel receipts, dinner tabs, and photographs of her hand entwined with his, brazen in the daylight. I smiled through the pain, my mask as polished as hers. I paid the deposit for her birthday party, confirmed the guest list, and wove my own players into the scene, 2 off-duty cops and my lawyer's assistant, blending seamlessly into the crowd. When Hannah handed me the bill and served the divorce with a smirk, I signed it, mirrored her smile, and left the bar. 2 blocks away, I parked, the engine's hum my only company. 10 minutes later, a text from the building manager lit up my phone, it's done. Here's what they didn't know. Her boyfriend, reckless as ever, parked in the valet circle, his expired license and mismatched registration a beacon for trouble. The cops noticed, their eyes catching the faint scent of weed curling from his car, an open bottle glinting on the passenger seat. They cuffed him before the champagne stopped fizzing. Hannah tried to weave her charm, her voice honeyed with desperation, but there's no seducing a police report. Her family scrambled, her father barking demands through the phone as if I were still their pawn. But the game had changed. The accounts were locked, a fortress of my making. The house, titled in my name, stood untouchable. Her car, leased through my company, was no longer hers. Her phone fell silent, disconnected. The platinum card she flashed like a scepter declined, a humiliating echo of her betrayal. By morning, gossip blogs blazed, socialite caught in rooftop meltdown as boyfriend arrested. I sat across from our divorce mediator, sliding over a dossier of her infidelity, photographs, receipts, timestamps, clause 4, paragraph 3. The prenup left her with nothing, not even alimony. For a moment, I wondered if I'd lost something too, not just her, but the man who believed in her. The thought passed like a shadow, replaced by the clarity of my own strength. The final confrontation unfolded in a hush, heavy as a held breath. 2 days later, Hannah appeared in my office doorway, mascara streaking her cheeks, heels dangling like relics of a lost empire. "Please," she whispered, my name trembling on her lips, as if it could summon the man who once loved her. I paused, fingers hovering over my laptop, the hum of the office filling the silence. "You ruined me," she said, her voice cracking. I met her gaze, calm, cold, resolute. "No, Hannah. You wove your own ruin. I just signed the invoice." For a moment, her eyes searched mine, grasping for a flicker of mercy, perhaps even regret. She found none. Her lips parted, then closed, and she slipped away, a shadow swallowed by the daylight. There's an art to betrayal, reckless and raw, but revenge is architecture, careful, measured, beautiful when complete. Hannah thought I'd explode, beg, cry, be broken. But I was never the fool, just the financier, funding her chaos until the ledger demanded balance. Every cent bought clarity, every step a brick in the edifice of my peace. Now, when I walk into a room, I carry no anger, only the quiet weight of knowledge, and the peace of knowing the bill always comes due. I don't leave tips. In the weeks that followed, my office hummed with purpose, my consultancy thriving without her shadow. The silence she left behind became my sanctuary, a space to rebuild on my own terms. I learned to savor the quiet moments, where the weight of her chaos no longer pressed against me. The story ended not with her, but with me, standing taller, seeing clearer, and knowing the true cost of trust. The ledger was balanced, the act complete, and I stepped into a life I authored myself, unburdened by the past, guided by the clarity I'd earned.